Hello, we are in almost every single way to solve for x part 1, and this is assignment number 2. So if you want to put 0, 0, 2 or just the number 2 somewhere on top, then you know that this is assignment number 2, and then your name. Okay, then I'm going to go over all of these that's up front in 10-minute chunks, and then I'll sort of stop the video when I'm running out of time with the 10 minutes. So start with number 1. It can get a little bit too much when you see all these like fractions, like, whoa, what's going on? But even though you see the fractions, you still have the calculator available in front of you guys. But still keep the same rules. I mean, what are you going to do with the 3/2 over here to solve for x? We're going to distribute the 3/2, and distribute means we're going to multiply to each one of them. So let's just get down to it. It can get intimidating. 753 over 28. Minus 6x is equal to, okay, 3/2 times x is just 3/2 x plus, the one good thing about the TI-84, this is one way you could do this work. This thing off, right? Okay, so one way you could do this work is you can go parentheses 3 divided by 2, close parentheses, times, or 1 divided by 6, close parentheses, and 0.25. If you guys already know that that is 1/4, you guys can write 1/4. But for the TI-84 CE, you do have an option of changing decimals into a fraction when you hit the math button here. So if you hit the math button, and then you choose the first selection, which is fraction, hit enter and hit enter one more time, it will automatically change to a fraction so that you don't have to do too much work. Okay, so we'll put 1/4 over here, minus 6/7. Okay, from here you want to combine some like terms. We can't combine these two over here because one has a variable, one does not, but we can combine these two on the right side because they're just pure numbers. So 753 over 28 minus 6x equals 3/2 x. Okay, again, just use the calculator. If you don't have a calculator, the TI-84 plus CE, there are a couple options for your apps. Wabbit Emu for Samsung, and I think Calculator 84. I'll try to post those up on the materials page for our classroom. 1/4 minus 6 divided by 7. Okay, I will probably not want to use that number, so let's just change that into a fraction. Negative 17 over 28 looks a little bit doable. So minus 17 over 28. From here, we're going to start transferring. I like to put all the x's on one side and all the pure numbers on the other. So I'm going to subtract 3/2 x on both sides. Negative 6 minus parentheses 3 over 2, close parentheses. Change that back into a fraction. Negative 15 over 2x will be right over here. So 753 over 28 minus 15 over 2x is equal to negative 17 over 28. Okay, then we're going to transfer this over to the other side because it's positive. Then we're going to subtract this huge fraction on the other side, minus 753 over 28. I'm probably going to run out of room, so I'll do some of the work over here. Negative 15 over 2x is equal to, probably can't do that. Just zoom out a little bit. Negative 17 over 28, close parentheses, minus 753 over 28, close parentheses, change that. Negative 55 over 2. Negative 55 over 2. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 15 over 2. Or multiply by its reciprocal, negative 2 over 15 on both sides. They are the same thing. Again, once you're coming off from this, you can just hit already the division button. Then that way it brings over this answer bar over here. Close parentheses, negative 15 over 2. Open parentheses, close parentheses, 3.66, repeat, change that into a fraction, 11 over 3. I hope that's right. That's a good try. Okay, good. So the answer keys on the back. That's good. So we got it correct. Okay. All right. So again, it can get intimidating with a lot of these fractions. Let the TI-84 calculator or any graphing calculator device help you guys out with that. Okay, let's do number 2 now. Number 2. Okay, when you have two fractions equal to each other, this is called a proportion. So to solve proportions, one of the better ways to do this is what's called cross multiply. So we're going to cross multiply like this and this. So we're going to go 13 times b is equal to, I'm going to put the 6 first, and then if you have more than one term, please put parentheses. So what I mean by this is 6 parentheses, then you put the b plus 5 inside. The reason for that is you're multiplying not only the b, but you're also multiplying the 5 as well when you do the distribution. So 13b is equal to 6b plus 30. Okay, from here you're going to solve for your variable. I'm going to subtract 6b on both sides. 7b is equal to 30. Then divide both sides by 7. And I don't think we can reduce that. We'll just leave it as 30 over 7. They don't have any common factors to reduce. So, yeah. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so that's how you can solve a proportion one of the ways. Okay, let's do another type of function. And over here we have absolute value. So this is an absolute value equation. Okay, so absolute value. You know, some people think that it works like a parentheses, and it really does not. So my recommendation to solve these absolute values and any other function after that is you want to try to take out what's outside of the absolute value before you take some action on the inside. So what I mean by this is you see this dangling positive 7. I would attack that first by subtracting 7 on both sides. So you want to kind of just isolate the absolute value by getting rid of all the outer parts first. Okay, so this is negative 7, absolute value of 3x minus 2 is equal to negative 112. Okay, negative 105 minus 7, negative 112. I do want to remind you that this is a multiplication. This does not work like a parenthesis, so do not distribute. Okay, so don't distribute. You're going to instead do the opposite of what it's applied to. So this is negative 7 times. So the opposite of that is we're going to divide both sides by negative 7. Okay. Then you have absolute value of 3x minus 2 is equal to 16. 112 divided by 7. Okay, 16. Right. When you have absolute value, this is how you are going to solve for x next. You're going to split up the two absolute values. I'll put the second one over here. Your first equation is you're going to let go of the absolute value. 3x minus 2 is equal to 16. So that's going to be your first split. Your second split is going to be 3x minus 2 is equal to negative 16. So notice on the left side, you take out the absolute values, the left side does not change at all. It's only on the right side. You make one positive and one negative. Now you have two different equations to solve for. You're going to solve them separately, and you'll most likely get two answers for most of these absolute value equations that you're solving for. Plus 2 on both sides. 3x is equal to 18. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is equal to 6, or add 2, add 2. 3x is equal to negative 14. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is equal to negative 14 over 3. So you do have two possible answers in this. Okay. And then that corrected that. So you can write your answers like this with the squiggly parentheses, so that will be okay. But if you don't really want to confuse it too much, because it might look like a coordinate point, you can split it up like this, x equals and x equals. That's fine too. I'll see you guys on the next video.